Hey everyone, and welcome back to Lucid9. In the last episode, well, actually, a lot happened. We met Ari, the mysterious girl from the night we went into District 6. She was missing for a couple days, and she's assumed to be the killer. But then Natsuki came up, who I also believe is the investigator we're working with, and she started talking to us about multiple personality disorder, which goes with my theory that Yama is the killer. But I have a feeling we're being misled by both directions. Because for Natsuki to have dissociative identity disorder, she could be referring to herself because she also is the detective, I think. Afternoon classes are another dreary past. This time, even Yaako is sullen, staring into the desk and murmuring nonsensical words under his breath. He still isn't over. Ari did giving him the cold shoulder. The moment the bell rings, Masato blazes into the classroom and lunges for me. I instinctively crawl beneath the desk, bracing myself for the full measure of his fury. You! I glance around the classroom. Yaako is staring blankly at Masato. Elizabeth is once again immersed in a conversation with her groupies. Masaki is, Masaki. I wave frantically in her direction, but she's too immersed in her phone to pay attention. You know how many days you skip track? 3? Wrong, the answer is too many. Hey, look, I've been busy. Yeah, like hell you been. Busy with what? Napping, eating, thinking? He's got a point. You disappoint me, man. Yeah? Join the club. Damn it, just stop ditching. Well, I don't blame him. Oh, Rui. Rui strides into the room. She hesitates when she sees Masaki, but she shakes it off in the blink of an eye. What makes you say that, eh? Well, you know, all you talk about is track. Yama's probably just tired of hearing it by now. But I don't just run. I can swim too and do basketball. She ignores him and the approaching Masaki and smiles gently at me. Don't worry. Mr. Ryota says that you're not in trouble. Mr. Ryota, why would... Oh, right, Shoji, the fight. But that's not what's important right now. She has to save me from Masato. Say, Rui, don't you think it's awfully lame we should be... But Masaki rushes in front of me, reaching for Rui's hand. Rui, I need to speak to you. Rui only steps back from both of us, staring blankly at Masaki. Why won't you listen? I told you the other day, leave me alone. It's you who isn't listening. She whips around on one heel and marches out of the room. Oh, Shack it? Shack. What the hell is that word? This is... Iltegrate? Wait, what did you just... Okay, I'm not... Okay, that's... Okay. But she flies past me and sprints out the room right on Rui's heels. Masato stares wordlessly at her back, mouth agape. That girl, Miyazaki, she was talking street. Talking what? Nothing, ain't nothing. Wait, did you understand her? Hang it. You're changing the subject again, ain't ya? Oh, me? No. You gotta come to track, man. I'll drag you there myself. Time to resort to drastic measures, since I was ditched by everyone. Actually, where did Yako go? That's weird. Well, what's it going to be? Oh, would you look at the time? I gotta go. Don't you do it, man. Don't. And I promptly run for my life, lunging over desks and chairs, bowling down the hallway. Maybe he would be good at track. There's only one safe place from being bulldozed by his fury. One place that can be a haven for a refuge. I slam my fist against the door, ignoring the bewildered states of passing students. Mr. Ryota, open up before I die. Ah, dynamic kid, why would you always have to interrupt me in the middle of battle? Nevertheless, the door creaks open. I jump in and kick it shut, twisting the lock with what may or may not have been a little more force than necessary. Miss Ryuta is staring at me with eyebrows lifted and mouth slightly agape, no doubt taking in my unkempt mess of hair and sweat beading on my forehead. First the fight and now running from someone? You just love trouble today, don't you, kid? Probably more like trouble loves me. Oh, kid, important life lesson. Trouble only finds people who are looking for it. So, basically, I deserve everything that happens to me. No, I didn't say that. Just that sometimes people who want nothing more in life than to go through, do nothing significant and pass on in peace, while they actually want a whole lot more. I don't understand. Well then, maybe we should talk about something else. I hesitantly take a seat and glance over my shoulder. No sign of the marvelous Masa. Since you're here, I guess we'd better have a proper session. Why are you being chased? Too popular with the girls? As if. It was Masato Kurogane. He loves track, and I don't. So he's trying to change that. And I presume it's not working out so hot for you. Yeah, you could say that. Actually, it seems like Masato always been on my case because of track, even the first time we met. Well, it was last year's club recruitment day. I remember hating that time. Well, to be fair, I hated everything, but especially club recruitment day. No matter how quiet and insignificant I tried to be, someone would always call me out every minute. They tried to get me to join language club, music club, art club, or even squirrel watching club. As you can imagine, by the time I met Masato, I wanted nothing to do with clubs, especially from someone who, frankly speaking, looked like the stereotypical idiot jock. Hey, you! But contrary to popular belief, I actually did have some semblance of manners. So, okay, I'm noticing, is it me, or do these words go out at a slant? Or the way I don't know, I've been noticing that for the past couple sessions of recording. And I just need to ask, is it slanted or is it just me? So I stopped and turned to address this bothersome kid. Not interested. I expected some fake smile or even some pleading, but to my shock, the guy immediately pulled back his fist and socked me right in the face. How? What the hell? Don't give me that blow. I ain't even said anything yet. Awful rude of you not to even give me a chance. You know what I call that? Uncivilized. I'm uncivilized? You're the one who just punched me. Aw, you big baby. That wasn't even a gentle tap. The terrible thing was, he looked completely serious about it. To be honest, I briefly entertained the thought that he was part of an abusive household or something. Of course, the guy took my thoughtful silence for penitence, and steamed ahead. That's more like it. Name's Masato Kurogane. What's yours? Leaving. You're leaving? Yeah, right now. Call me rude, but I was at my breaking point. Getting a fist straight to the nose wasn't exactly welcoming. I might have admired this guy's courage to utter disregard for social necessities. That's how necessities? Niceties? But other than that, he bugged me a lot. Oh, I see what you did there. But you can't leave, not before you've joined track. Track? Hell yeah, our club, man. It blinds you for life, makes you sweat, gives you pain, stretches your physical constitution till you think you're gonna die. If this guy thought that was a great sales pitch, he had a long way to go. Yeah, not interested. That ain't all, man. Track can save your life, just like it saved mine. Saved his life? Yeah, right. Good for you. Ain't it? Track's literally a lifesaver, man. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, where are you going? I'm just getting to the best part. I cried on the inside, but I patiently nodded my head. If you get good enough, you can get a scholarship. This place doesn't come cheap, you know. Even a little amount would help your parents. Huh. Things are beginning to make sense. Is that why you're in track? Come to think of it, you still haven't told me your name. Interestingly enough, I found that I was actually beginning to like this guy. At least he wasn't superficial like everyone else. If anything, he was opposite. He wore his heart on his sleeve. Besides, I needed something to do while Rui was in drama. What else was I going to join? Art, dance, squirrel watching? I'm Yama Ishimoto. Huh, what kind of name is that? My parents liked poetry. No way. Oh gosh, he was probably going to rant about how poetry and literature is a waste of time. Who's their favorite? Masuo Basho? Kobayashi Issa? Or maybe some foreign guys like Edgar Allan Poe or William Shakespeare. Hey, that's more like what I know. I was kind of into Poe. What the? You like poetry? Of course I do. Poetry is the manliest way to cry. This guy only got stranger. What about literature? Manliest way to hate people. Science? Manliest way to take stuff apart. I love Masato. Math? Manliest way to put stuff together. History? Manliest way to predict the future. By any chance, what are your grades? Average of 99. No way. The highest class average I ever heard of was a 92. This guy is smarter than me. I don't understand you at all. It's okay, you don't need to. You just gotta join track. On second thought, I didn't think he was smarter. He just studied harder. So, it took guts, and passion, and everything I didn't have. Okay, I'll try it out. But only for a little bit. I knew you'd come around. Come on, let's go get the track. Already? Don't you have other unfortunate souls to recruit? Nah, the others take care of them. Let's go. Huh. So that's how he met Masato. And that's how I met Masato. I was never really a regular track member, but for some reason, he always wanted me to be. Even now, I don't really understand why. He probably just wants to help people become their best. Then why would he pick me? Me when there's so many people who would love track and running and competition and all that crap. Isn't that the whole point of picking you? Because I'm useless, so turning me into somebody useful means a lot? No, because you're a challenge. Huh. You know, that doesn't exactly make me feel any better. Why not? You should feel very, very loved. Oh, I do. A bit too loved. Masato probably sees you like a little cousin or a younger brother. Do you know that? What Masato does? Why would he do that? You know, kid, sometimes there's just nice people in the world and you shouldn't question it. And sometimes there are ulterior motives behind everything. Hey, Yama is me. Yama is my spirit animal. He has the same mental way of thinking as me. Christ almighty, I'm a terrible person. Moscow Kuragane, ulterior motives. Well, that's true, I guess. It's not like Masato would fake anything. But it still doesn't make any sense. Why would he choose me, a random stranger, as his little brother? To be honest, I've usually thought of Masato as my little brother since he's, kind of obtuse and not cynical and embittered by the world. I am Yama. Something like that, kind of innocence. Maybe you should be asking why your friends love you, Yama. Maybe you should be looking for ways to return that love instead of looking for ways to deserve it. Real talk. I sounded really cool, didn't I? I'm leaving. Oh, come on, kid. That was good. Admit it. I admit it. I'm still leaving. He only chuckles and slaps his hand on my shoulder. Have a good day, kid. I wish I had a counselor like him in school. I probably would have been something by now. I only nod wordlessly in response as I step out of his office. My throat almost feels clogged, as if I just heard something that I really, really needed to hear. Maybe these meetings really are a good thing. Move those legs, you filthy maggots. Move them double time. What the hell? What the fuck is Akira doing? I peer around searching for the source of the noise and find Akira racing around the entrance, a large lumpy backpack slung over her shoulders. Okay, I'm getting dizzy. Oh, Sarge, please, pretty please, I've been running 6 miles. I swear I'm going to collapse. I shouldn't be able to hear you over the sounds of your tears, Private. Hop to it. Akira? I gingerly step in front of her and wave to catch her attention. She grinds to a halt, tilting her head curiously at me. What are you doing here? I'm here for drama club, of course. But no one else is here. I'm doing an immersive exercise, Loot. I'm a lieutenant now? An immersion exercise? Yep, I need to act half dead from boot camp, so I'm going to run a mile around the school track with this backpack. A mile? but that backpack looks as big as her. Boot camp? Is that what you're calling me? Is that why you're calling me Loot? Nah, I'm calling you Loot because Loot is short for Lieutenant, I know. Well, darn my socks, don't you catch on fast. Oh, she's cute. She's cute! That might be the thumbnail. Unless we get a CG. Usually her antics would annoy me, but for some reason it's soothing right now, like white noise in a messy world. Do you usually do things this intense for Drama Club? Oh no, this is easy. You should have seen what I had to do yesterday. I was a sadistic serial... What did you do that for? I ate a bunch of cereal. Oh. I'm not sure whether to feel relieved or exasperated. Say, Lou, if you don't have anything to do right now, why don't you join us? We're doing some exercises that you might like. What makes you think I'll like them? Well, Rui says. Oh, what exactly does she say? That you like the exercises. That's cynical logic. On the contrary, it has nothing to do with bikes. Well, technically, I don't have anything to do. Wait, Rui will be there? I thought that a silent Akira would be a blessing, but it's just unsettling. Rui has something to do today. But if you come tomorrow, you can watch her bedazzle the crowd. Tomorrow's Saturday, isn't it? Oh, it is? You don't know what day of the week it is? It's Tuesday for my character. And in my defense, there's a half day on Saturdays. Just no clubs, which is kind of important. Oh, that was me talking, never mind. She doesn't seem to hear me. Instead, she just checks her phone for the time. Hey, boot camp is ending. What about your mile? Let's go. She reaches out and grabs my wrist, but suddenly lets go as if it's burning iron. I send a questioning look at her, but she only shrugs it off. Come on, Lou, adventure awaits. Without any further explanation, she marches into the classroom building. Well, this should be interesting. Akira leads me to the classroom 3A, where a dozen students are seated in a ring, looking expectantly at Akira. One of the girls immediately leaps to her feet. I recognize her as the drama club president. Where have you been, maggot? Wow, you're mean here. You know how late it is? Immediately, Akira stumbles forward as she's dead exhausted, the backpack sliding from her shoulders and crashing to the ground. Ah, acting. Sorry, sir. I took a detour. A detour? What kind of detour can you take on a training course? Akira, is she Akira right now? Points a tremulous finger in my direction. He jumped on me, sir. Out of nowhere. I don't even know where he got here. All eyes swelled to me, waiting to see how I handle this situation development. This sudden development. They probably expected me to dodge out, to freeze, or just stare at them like they're a bunch of weirdos. Heck, I'm even expecting me to do something along those lines. But instead, sheer instinct takes over. Years of make-believe with Rui molds me into what is needed at the moment. A foreign spy who haplessly stumbles onto a military operation. Sorry. I'm a tourist. Lost my way. I suddenly move my hand to my hip where my imaginary gun holster lies. Surprisingly, the club president is perceptive enough to catch it. He's a spy! Right as I pretend to whip out my gun, Akira tackles my arm, throwing me to the ground. I feel a shot of pain run up my shoulders, ripping a very real cry of agony from my throat. Akira proceeds to deftly lock my arms behind my back, leaning over until her mouth is next to my ear. Drop the gun. Through the haze of pain, I manage to hold my character together. Akira nudges my arm gently this time, and I yell, opening my fingers and releasing motion. Sir, what should I do? The club president kneels down, looking me straight in the eye. I tilt my head upward, staring as challengingly as I possibly can. Nice one. Strangers don't usually pick up so easily. The entire room relaxes as she sits before me, bowing her head slightly. Welcome to the Drama Club. I'm the club president. Sorry you came in on a pretty hectic day. No, it was interesting. Akira, could you let go of me? Akira suddenly squeaks, lunging away from me. An uncharacteristic blush crawls on her cheeks as she vainly attempts to cover her face with her hands. It's really unusual for her, but kinda cute. Almost reminds me of Rui. I suppose they've rubbed off on each other at this point. Quickly disregarding these thoughts, I focus back on my physical status and move my arm back to its regular position. It twinges painfully. I can't hide a wince, which the club president immediately notices. Oh gosh, are you okay? I test my arm for a moment, but the pain subsided, probably just overstretched slightly. Nah, I should be fine. It's nothing compared to what Miki's made me do before. Did I hurt you? I'm really sorry, Yama. It's fine, really. Are you sure? It's unsettling to see Akira so meek. I glance at the club president and raise an eyebrow. She seems to understand. Well, let's try some basic exercise before our next scenario. Stan is Lasky's magic if, everyone? The rest of the club time is spent in playing around with different objects, pretending the pencils are bombs, chairs are clouds, and desks are shields. It's amazingly refreshing. I'd almost forgotten how fun it is just to put everything aside and enter a completely different world. Even when the club's been dismissed, I feel a sense of lightness that I haven't felt in a long time. Hey, Loot. Akira pops up next to me, now returned to her cheery self. Hey, where are you headed? Home. Don't you live in the dorms? I live in the world, therefore anywhere I go is my home. Bizarre as always, this is the only... Oops, wrong button. Where's return? Oh, let me save it real quick before I fuck up. Oh, right, it's right click again. Bizarre as always, the only thing I've grown to understand about this girl is that I'll never understand her. Right, seriously, where are you going? Come to think of it, I have no clue what I'm doing here. Catch you later, Luke. I mean, see you later. And without any further explanation, she skips away. I shrug off my confusion, accepting it is the norm when one speaks with Akira, and I head back to my apartment. Except something stops me in the entrance. By this time, all the students are living it up in the town, or doing nobody knows what in the school rec center. Nah, giggity. Nobody just hangs around the entrance. For most, the barred gates and curfew are just another sign of the restrictions instituted by the helicopter parents. But beneath the shade of the tree is in the far corner, I catch a sight of two figures facing each other with hands on hips. Oh, this should be good. I inch forward. The figures are none other than Masaki and Rui, immersed in conversation. Must you keep ignoring me, Rui? Because you've been gone for 4 years, Masaki? We didn't know where you went, or even why you had to leave. All these years, Yama and I left in the dark. For all we know, you could have been dead. How can you expect us to act like you never left? I still don't understand how Yama can be so forgiving after he almost... You know what? I'm tired of this. Just don't ever speak to me again, Masaki. She turns to stalk off, but Masaki grabs her wrist in the blink of an eye. I'm not letting you walk away again, damn it. Do you believe that I wanted to leave Seto? To move to District 6 with my who, by the way, doesn't even deserve to be called my mother? What I don't understand is why you're blaming me for something I couldn't control. Masaki's sudden outburst seems to catch Rui off guard. District 6 doesn't deserve to be called my mother? What happened to Masaki after she left Seto? Masaki, you're hurting my wrist. Oh, I'm sorry, Rui, I shouldn't have... The two girls seem to avoid each other's gazes for an awkward moment, but Rui is the first to speak, her voice coming out barely a whisper. Half a year after you left, we gave up. We thought you'd never contact us again. It was okay, but Yama... He thought someone had left him again, forever. What the fuck was that? Ah, that made me jump! God damn it all! I think that was a family picture. I'm going to have to go back, capture it, invert the contrast. Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. He thought that people would just keep leaving him, that no one would stay by his side. He locked himself in his room, pulled himself into a shell. I couldn't reach him. No one could. He didn't trust any of us to stay. Then I dropped by his house one day and the medicine cabinet was open and his huge bottles of pill was gone. You mean... Yeah. You know how... Uh, uh, you know how hands-off his parents have always been. The ambulance barely made it in time. They had to start pumping him on site. That's how bad it was. Was it really that bad? So understand why I was so upset. I had no idea, Rui. Just where were you, Miki? Why couldn't you just... Rui breaks off and covers her face with her hands. Misaki's expression crumbles. She hesitantly reaches towards Rui. And Rui promptly kicks her in the shin. Dummy Miki, why did you take so long? Meow! Why weren't you there for Yama? Why weren't you there for me? I missed you. Rui. And now they're draped against each other, sobbing like newborn children. What just happened? I quietly inch away from the scene, feeling the sun and sense that they need privacy. At least they made up, well, from the looks of it. It almost seems like Rui was just really overwhelmed from keeping secrets. My memory of the time is very faint, but hers must be crystal clear. Her terror, her anguish when she stumbled on me, must have been festering inside her all these years, because mentioning anything could have set me over the brink. She always had the fake smiles, put me first, picked me up when I was falling down. Something itches in the back of my mind, a weird kind of dizziness starting to overcome me. I force it back until I can become more detached. I really, really don't want to think about that time, but thankfully I can suppress it for now. But Rui, she was never one to hide away from her feelings. She faced the pain full force. Little wonder that seeing Miki again had brought all that to the surface. And Miki, she said she moved to District 6 with Satomi, something she hadn't told me when we first saw her 2 days ago. Why would she resent her mother so passionately? Also, why would they move to District 6? The almost poverty-stricken area in Osamu. It certainly makes me curious, but then again, it's really none of my business. At least she and Rui are friends again, so maybe now the three of us can go back the way we were. I can hide a smile as I lounge against the couch after whipping some dinner, replaying the exchange in my head. I'm glad that they made up. Really glad. Somehow it feels like a big burden has been lifted off me, even though I technically had nothing to do with the argument. And now I'm getting all sappy. Let's see, what should I do tonight? Oh, okay. I unlocked an achievement, saving brain cells. I knew sticking to my gun and not watching that dribble would pay off somehow. Guess I should actually study. Not that I'd ever do it alone. If I'm going to be miserable, I might as well be miserable with someone else. Oh, shit. Huh. We're going to hang out with a girl, but if we go with Rui or Misaki, that would give us a chance to find out more information. But I'm more kind of curious more about Akira. Elizabeth, she's a bitch. But I kind of feel for her too. I feel bad for her. Let's go to Akira. Social studies. I don't know many people who would be good with social studies. Akira, maybe, since she loves theater. She probably knows more about history and psychology than most. Loot? Huh? Drop and give me 20. Akira, it's time to break character. Oh, sorry. The Prez told me to watch some more films to understand my character a little more. Really? I thought you did fine. Actually, my reaction to stop you from using the gun was way too fast. If I was really wet behind the ears private, I should have froze. Then the Prez should have gotten shot, and she would have had a beautifully tragic death scene. And then I could adventure by slowly, meticulously, and agonizingly taking you apart limb by limb until you're I think your sadistic serial killer character is taking over. Whoops, sorry Lou, it was just yesterday. I'm not sure if she's mentally stable. Maybe talking to her was a good idea. Maybe we can get a little into maybe who the killer is. So what's up? Would happen to know about British history around the time Shakespeare was around? Why you've asked the completely wrong person, I haven't a clue. Why does she seem so enthusiastic about that? Well, you know a lot about Shakespeare, right? Well, if you're going according to Shakespeare, then I can confide saying that everyone killed themselves, fell in a forbidden love, and insulted each other in imabic That's not exactly what I was looking for. Oh, I know, you're looking for the meaning of life. The answer's 42. Well, aren't you? That's what everyone's looking for. You know what? I think I got it. Thanks, Akira. Good night. A fair night to thee, Yama. Well, as amusing as that was, I probably wouldn't repeat the experience. I definitely would be more productive researching social studies on my own. Oh, I got a phone call. The silent ring of my phone breaks me out of my thoughts. Who was it? Better answer this one. Segure. Shiyama. The most intriguing circumstances that transpired and necessities immediately reagency. I'm not going on another little goose chase, if that's what you mean. Oh, I aver that this is far more exigency than a mere preliminary. Despite myself, I'm intrigued. And what would that be? The police have come to an impasse in an exact cojuvency for the recent disappearance of the Samu Imperial Boarding Academy. Are you conversant with this case? I ruefully think back to the events of this morning. Yeah, somewhat familiar with the recent disappearances. Well, I should hope so, given that you attended the very institution. At any rate, you must meet me at the school tomorrow morning. We are scouring it every last inch of that campus, even if it requires neglecting sleep. With luck, a crucial piece of evidence may be uncovered. Disappearances, neglecting sleep, evidence? What the hell's going on? So, we're searching the academy for a lead on the recent disappearances. That is what I previously averted. Are you deaf, or merely improvident of fathoming such elementary conceptualization with your... You know, she talks big. The killer talks big. Just saying. Just saying. Conceptualization that your tawdry intellectuality? There goes the canon of verbal abuse. I'm honestly impressed. I can't match her in that regard. But no one disturbs my sleep. No one. And you're expecting me to pull an all-nighter for this? Well, naturally, the case demands it. I'm not doing that. Get some other people to help. On the contrary, as I have no qualms with neglecting sleep, you should be the one recruiting. Gather your accomplices as you deem necessary, Ishiyama, and meet me by the school gates at 8 a.m. sharp. But isn't it illegal to share confidential case information with civilians? It ought to be felonious to the process such infantilism, acumen, yet... I need a fucking thesaurus with this chick. Yet you are not incarcerated. That doesn't answer my... You should choose to go alone. Should you choose to go alone, know that you'll be spending the entirety of your day in investigation. I'm not even getting paid. If you really don't want to do it, you don't have to. We both know you're already too curious for that. Well, that's really unfair that she's actually right. Sometimes I wish that she was obvious and stupid, but then again, she wouldn't be Segure. Guess I have a lot of calls to make. Okay, I'm cutting the video here. This would be a perfect place to end it. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're starting to investigate the murders now. We're sort of... The disappearances... I don't know if they know the disappearances are linked to the our murders yet. It makes me thinking, and now we know that Yama tried to kill himself, and we got that really that thing that made me jump through the roof. which I have to do some investigating of my own on. But yeah, the plot is thickening. We got some words of wisdom from Mr. Ryuta. Akira is really adorable. And, well, shit, who knows what's going to happen next? I'm really intrigued. I can't wait to play this next. I can't wait to get back to it next week. If you're enjoying this as much as I am, please leave a like and share it around. It helps me grow the channel, and I appreciate it wholeheartedly. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to the channel to get a little insight into my madness and to know when everything I do goes live. The links to my Twitters in the description below. And with all that said, this has been Black Phoenix. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time.